Boa noite, galera. Estamos aqui para nossa live de terça-feira e hoje uma live um pouco diferente do que a gente está acostumado, né? A gente falou na nossa última live sobre o Salesforce World Tour e hoje, de fato, vai ocorrer esse evento daqui a alguns minutinhos. A Salesforce já está iniciando ali a transmissão. Dá para ver no palco ali algumas pessoas testando áudio, essas coisas. Daqui a pouco a gente vai começar a compartilhar aqui com vocês vão poder acompanhar com a gente. A ideia é ter interação com vocês, então, assim que a gente vê alguma novidade ou vê alguma coisa legal, a gente vai comentar sobre. E a gente quer que vocês também comentem sobre aí do outro lado. Eu estou com o chat aqui da live aberto, então vou estar acompanhando o tempo todo o que vocês estão falando aí, em tempo real. A ideia é que haja essa interação com vocês, para a gente poder fazer uma troca, né? Vale lembrar que esse vídeo não vai ficar publicado, né? Então, uma vez que acabar essa live, ele vai ser eliminado, diferente dos outros, esse vídeo não vai ficar publicado. Porque o conteúdo não é de nossa autoria, né? Com exceção do que a gente está falando, o conteúdo é da Salesforce. Então, não podemos deixar isso ali publicado.
Boa.
Bom, dito
Acho que
isso,
antes da gente começar, acho que comentem aí, coloquem nos comentários o que vocês esperam desse evento, quem vai assistir ele pela primeira vez, quem tá vendo o World Tour pela primeira vez, quem não tá, o que espera desse World Tour, se na verdade não espera nada, se viu isso antes, já tá com alguma coisa em mente que tá querendo ver. Comentem aí. Vamos
show de bola.
começar a interagir.
Aproveita, chama também aquele seu amigo para acompanhar a live com a gente e fazer essa interação aqui. Enquanto a Salesforce não começa, se quiser compartilhar a tela, a gente já deixa aí no
Bora.
para a galera acompanhando a musiquinha. E aqui no backstage a gente vai também. Show.
Vendo bem aí?
Sim, tá bom.
Show.
O áudio tá bom para vocês, galera? Diz aí. Vou fazer uma postagem aqui pra gente incentivar a galera.
Ele comecei um padrão, né? Algumas coisas que vão ter.
Um pouco de agonia, né? Parece que não começa nunca o evento.
Ah,
E no presencial também não é muito diferente disso, né? Porque quando você chega, tá aquela galera começando ali a interagir e tal. Você parece que não
aí você começa a ver os
começou, aí
banners,
fica.
né? Pra ver se
É,
dá uma dica. É bem isso.
a gente tentou se
Eu ia
planejar
perguntar se o.
para fazer um cenário um pouco diferente aqui, usando outra ferramenta de transmissão que é o OBS, né? Então, a nossa ideia era ter uma tela um pouco diferente, onde você conseguir ver a gente, eu e o Arthur ao mesmo tempo, e também acompanhar o vídeo, mas no fim, por problemas técnicos, a gente não conseguiu fazer isso, porque eu conseguia pegar o áudio do Arthur, eu conseguia pegar meu áudio, mas a gente não conseguia pegar o áudio da página, né? Da página de transmissão. Então acabou que a gente optou por fazer dessa forma mesmo, que assim a gente consegue acompanhar junto com vocês. Eu acho que vai ser mais interativo, né?
Welcome, good morning, and good
E
day. Welcome to the first
Começamos.
ever Salesforce FutureWorks World Tour. This is your host, Cecily Ng, and I'm so pleased to be with you in this space or anywhere in the world that you may be watching from. Even if you're in lockdown or isolation, I want you to know that we are with you in spirit. Now you can see that we are hosting live from a secret location, which will be a surprise that will be revealed later. But what I can tell you that it is really early in the morning in this part of the world, and it may be quite late in your part of the world. So I feel like we need some music to warm us up. So I want to welcome our musician all the way from Hawaii, LT Smooth.
Thanks for having me, Salesforce.
musiquinha para acalmar e pegar o pique, né?
Essa é nova, né? No World Tour normalmente não tem apresentação no evento, né? Só no final, normalmente.
No último SP Tour que teve aqui, a gente teve dois palestrantes que são um comediante, né? O Murilo Gun, teve uma outra menina que eu não lembro o nome, que abriram o evento, né?
Acho que é Rosângela o nome, não tenho certeza.
E abriram o evento ali com uma distração, né? Mas não com uma música, né? Um pouco diferente, de fato.
Galera, no YouTube o vídeo tá com muito delay, o áudio. A imagem eu tô vendo que tá com um pouco de delay, mas atrapalha o áudio pra vocês ou não? O áudio tá ok, só a imagem tá travando. Bom.
Fazer tentar tirar do full screen pra ver, né? não tem um atraso no áudio, só na imagem aqui também. Mesmo aqui no Zoom.
Wow, that is both relaxing and energizing. Thank you, LT. And you know, one of my favorite things in such Salesforce events is really the opportunity to talk to people who are challenging the status quo for the better. We call them trailblazers, but you may call them learners, you may call them leaders, or you may call them innovators. They are basically people who leave a path for others to follow. And today, we have a trailblazer with us today, so I want you to join me in welcoming on stage the Managing Director of Attribute Data, Joanna Teo.
Thank you.
Well, Joanna, thank you so much for joining us. Yeah, good morning. How are you? How are you feeling today?
Fabulous.
Cool. Well, Joanna, so good to have you here. Can you start by telling us about your journey and what part did Salesforce play in that journey?
Yes, I've been an end user for almost a decade, actually more than a decade. And with my various stints with different companies like Dell, Cisco. 6 years ago, I decided to start my own company, and that's where we started off as a data consultancy. And moving on 2 years ago, we needed to expand to a wider spectrum of customer intelligence-driven services. And that's where I thought, hey, probably we needed some more experienced team members who are able to actually consult more senior clients for us and with us.
E aí, já adivinhou onde eles estão já?
The government programs that came on
Não adivinha ainda não, cara.
that got introduced to me.
Na China.
And this was where Salesforce actually came about, and it was like, oh, okay, that was a rather beautiful marriage in there. It gets us trained consultants. It also gets us people who are ready for the market. And this is where, we took a little closer look. We actually took our training along with the team members that we've recruited through this program from Trailhead. And we thought, hey, they actually do have very updated program up there. We incorporated with our onboarding program, and 2 years down the road, we've actually recruited 10 people from this program, and our team has doubled in size. We've even expanded to China with the Salesforce services.
Wow, that's amazing. So, Joanna, what is one advice you can give to people who are now feeling inspired and they want to transform their career?
So when we first looked at the program, we saw many experienced talents out there who had transferable skills. I really like to encourage them to kind of give this program a chance, give themselves a chance as well, pick up a new skill set no matter how difficult it is, and who knows where it will take you.
Okay, and how about for the employer in the Salesforce ecosystem who are looking to hire? What tip would you give to them?
Well, this is an opportunity, and it's not going to be easy as well. So do actually give these people a chance as well. Also, take on this advantage to get more mature and trained people into your company because they'll help you ramp up a lot faster.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Joanna, for joining us, and thank you for everything you're doing to support our trailblazers. Joanna, thank you
so much.
Essa é uma parte que normalmente também no World Tour, se você for em São Paulo, não sei nos outros lugares, mas normalmente não tem essa entrevista com um trailblazer, né? Eu acho importante para mostrar pra galera, principalmente no World Tour, tem uma galera que tá começando com Salesforce. E às vezes uma entrevista dessa ia ajudar, né?
No Dreamforce tem algumas coisas assim.
And thank you for joining us. I'm James Corden, world-renowned CRM solutions expert. You may know me as the guy from Carpool Karaoke or as the host of the Late Late Show, but I'm actually a triple threat. TV, movies, Salesforce conference monologues delivered remotely out of an abundance of caution. Now, if you remember, I was also here for the Dreamforce event, and honestly, I couldn't figure out how to log off, and they just let me host this as well. But it truly is an honor to be here. Salesforce is such an amazing organization, and while we're at it, also a decent name for a metal band. Hey, I saw Salesforce open for Metallica at the Chase Center. They thrashed. Salesforce. Salesforce isn't just an incredible company, it also has the world's #1 CRM platform. Do you know what it takes
é a
to be number
cartilha.
one in the world?
Tem que rezar a
Seriously, I'm
cartilha.
genuinely
Primeiro
asking. My
CRM
show
do
isn't even in
mundo.
the top 3 for late night. But you're the absolute best at what you do. You could say you're the CRM of the crop. You get it, because that joke really only works in print, because if you look at it, CRM looks like cream, but anyway, that would have killed on Twitter. But wow, what an accomplishment. Number 1 in the world in CRM. But don't brag about it, that could have been me. You know, we chose different paths. We'll never know. Now, when Salesforce asked me to do this, I of course said yes. Mostly because at the time I thought it meant I'd be able to travel to Singapore, but doing this remotely from Los Angeles at this desk where I work pretty much every day, that's the same thing. Plus, this is a natural fit. If show business doesn't pan out for me, my backup plan has always been enterprise applications. I like to think of myself very much now as part of the extended Salesforce family. You know, one big family, close enough to care about each other, but not so close that you expect me to show up next weekend with a pickup and help you move. Think of me as the fun uncle who, no matter how times you explain it to me, still doesn't exactly know what you do. But seriously, today is a great day for Salesforce. It's a day for looking forward. I don't know about you, but I'm filled with hope and optimism, a little bit of vodka. But I really think this year is going to be better than the last. I know that that's a low bar. And maybe I'm too optimistic. But a few months from now, I see people swarming out into the streets, hugging each other, grandparents taking grandchildren, squeezing them tight and saying to them, let's buy lots and lots of customer support enterprise solutions. It's a beautiful image, isn't it? One of the reasons I'm so optimistic is because of science and technology. Thanks to science and technology, we're now able to work from anywhere. For example, as I mentioned, most of this program's from Singapore. I'm here in Los Angeles, and the rest of you, you're in your underwear. We can work from anywhere, but more importantly, we can nod along during Zoom meetings while we secretly watch Netflix from anywhere. But you can never underestimate the power of innovation. Think of the most recent example. Thanks to science and technology, we now have the vaccine. That went from idea to execution in just 10 months. It's amazing. Right now, it's an injection. They say eventually, you'll just be able to get it as an additive to your Jamba Juice. But honestly, the vaccine has me so excited. There's so many things I want to do. I cannot wait to invite myself over to Mark Benioff's house for
pra galera que tem dificuldade com o idioma. Basicamente, ele está falando sobre o ano que a gente passou, o que ele espera do próximo ano, que seja melhor por conta do Covid. Este ano, né? Colocando, comparando a tecnologia, como a tecnologia evoluiu e etc. E eu acho que isso leva bastante para o que a gente vai ver hoje, né? Dá para ver bastante como que vai ser a linha. Falar sobre o que passou esse ano, as dificuldades e as soluções que as empresas bolaram, né? Que a Salesforce bolou.
O próximo tópico já é, né?
In Silicon Valley who can successfully pull off the beard and open collar look. Other side, it's only Mark who's pulling it off. Mark founded Salesforce way back in 1999, which means the company is officially old enough to drink. Although I'm guessing a lot of you watching this right now are like, way ahead of you, buddy.
Isso aí, aqui, ó.
But thank you.
Tomando meu chá. Aquela travadinha?
Travou.
Vamos atualizar para ver.
Desculpa não, Salesforce, desculpa não. E voltamos.
Over to you in Singapore.
I want to let
Que beleza.
Muitos usuários acessando, começa...
Que beleza. Isso aconteceu no DX também.
Aconteceu.
we may be touched on content related to Slack and the proposed acquisition of Slack. The proposed acquisition of Slack is subject to customary closing condition, including Slack stockholder and regulatory approval. And until the proposed acquisition is closed, Slack and Salesforce remain two independent companies. And with that, I want to officially welcome you all to Salesforce FutureWorks World Tour.
You surprised us. You challenged us. You inspired us.
We had an idea. It was such a simple solution, but such a big one to start helping people.
You reminded us that business can be the greatest platform for change.
With the pandemic hitting, it bred a lot of uncertainty.
Keeping staff and students safe. Like, what does safety look like?
We recognized that to get through this crisis, we had to rapidly evolve our digital capabilities.
Essa que é a parte que a gente tanto fala, né? Os caras pegaram Bentley. Imagina só o cara da empresa olhando isso, pô.
We didn't skip a beat. We can run our business from anywhere.
We need to embrace the future and move forward and bring our organizations along.
We moved fast, determined.
You forward more than 50 million pieces of protective equipment. How did you do that?
Together, we came up with big, bold ideas.
Salesforce made it very easy for us to pivot during a very difficult time.
Salesforce launched Work.com.
The software aimed at helping companies safely reopen their offices.
We kept it moving forward.
Trust is the cornerstone of our relationship with our customers.
Without customers trusting us, we wouldn't have a business.
We were able to produce a very robust multi-campus contact tracing solution in 3 days.
And it was the information that they needed to move forward.
So after all that 2020
Tem uma galera dos 4 cantos do mundo aí, né, cara? Brisbane, Austrália, Portugal.
É muita gente.
Marcelo Monteiro, do Rio de Janeiro. Galera do mundo inteiro mesmo.
We see an all-digital, work-from-anywhere world. One that's no longer limited by outdated ways of thinking and working.
With Customer 360, we can create a single source of truth that allows us to create extraordinary experiences for our customers.
We're a better company now than we were a year ago.
More connected, more productive, more fluid.
It's the thing that we all can see. We have a window into the same picture.
Less complicated, more trusted, more sustainable.
For the first time, we're actually going to bring sustainability to the customer engagement.
We want to be positioned for the future.
There's no going back. This is the new status quo.
And together, we'll keep it moving forward. It's going to be a whole new Salesforce, where the future works.
Please welcome
Elon Musk,
Chair
tá ali?
and CEO Mark Benioff.
Ninguém usando o nick dele, provavelmente, né?
Thank you, Cicely. All right, well, good morning, everybody. How are you doing? Good morning, good morning. Good morning to everybody here in our audience, and also good morning to you all over the world. We are live in Singapore. We're live in Singapore, and this is where the future is working, and it is amazing here. You know, Singapore is an incredible country. We all know that, but it has some of the lowest COVID cases in the world, and businesses and restaurants are back open, hotels are open. It's an incredible place. I'll tell you, I was here in October, and it was just amazing to me to see how well the country has been working this year. And I thought about, where are we going to do the kickoff? Where are we going to do our Salesforce kickoff for fiscal year 22? And I'll tell you what, it's right here in Singapore. How about that? Isn't that great? Now, you may know I actually went home after being here in Singapore in October, and I went to San Francisco, and we had Dreamforce. It was the biggest and best Dreamforce we've ever had, but, well, it's just me and Brett Taylor in a park. That's it. We didn't have a nice live audience like we have here in Singapore right now. No, it was just us. And we were doing all the right things that we needed to do in San Francisco to keep ourselves safe. But we kept having that thought in our mind, we need to come back to Singapore and we need to kick off this fiscal year. Because everybody keeps asking me, what does the future look like? How does the future look? What are the platforms for the future? How are we going to create the success that we want in the future? You know, it's
Boa
very
pergunta.
important that we came
Como?
back here, and I'll tell you why.
Como, Mark?
It's because people are
Qual
looking
pergunta?
for, how do I make the future work for me? And a lot of those answers are right here in Singapore. So we're going to talk about
Como
that
fazer um futuro
today.
que funcione para
We're
mim.
going to talk about Salesforce's new fiscal year, which just started. We're going to talk about our Salesforce Customer 360. And today I want to share the future with you that we all see, a better world, how we're going to get back there together. You know, I love Singapore because it has so many of the values that represent the future. And I think as we look at how the future is working here in Singapore and why they have done so well in this very, very difficult year, well, it's just an amazing story. I want to tell you the whole story, but before I do, I just want to remind you I'm here to educate you. I am here to inspire you. I am here to motivate you. But number one, I'm here to thank you. I'm here to thank each and every one of you for what you have done for us. So thank you. Thank you for supporting us through this year. Thank you for what you have done for yourselves. Thank you for what you've done for your companies, for your countries. Thank you for everything that you have done this year in helping us to get through this unbelievably difficult year. I also want to especially thank our first responders and our frontline workers. They're the true heroes of this last year. I'm sure everyone agrees. What they've done around the world has just been amazing. And our hearts go out to everyone who has been hurt and lost during this global pandemic. I also want to especially thank our friends in the Singapore government who have made this event possible. Isn't that great? They really stood up and said, yes, we're going to make this event happen. And I want to say thank you to all of our employees all around the world here in Singapore. We have a great organization here in Singapore. We have over 1,000 employees. We've won Best Place to Work in Singapore. So this is a great place. Behind me, you'll see the traditional Singapore skyline and the Marina Bay Sands Hotel and all the iconic aspects of Singapore, because we are live in Singapore and we're broadcasting this all around the world because we are all looking for where does the future work? And we're here in Singapore to really talk about how it is working. So let me tell you this. When we think about the future, when we think about everything that has happened, we also have to kind of pivot back to the past over the last year. We look at what's happened at Salesforce. We have had to aggressively deliver a new philanthropy model. That included buying PPE and building incredible new products like our contact tracing system and vaccine management system. We had a new event model.
Falando do lançamento aí, provavelmente, do Vaccine Cloud, né? Fazendo referência ao Vaccine Cloud.
Presenting our vision of the world, and well, that hasn't been possible. That just wasn't possible at all.
Esse cara aí, galera, não sei se vocês conhecem, mas ele é o CEO da Salesforce, o cara que faz todos os eventos do Dreamforce, ele começa apresentando, tem alguns livros legais dele, inclusive eu tenho que terminar de ler o livro dele.
Somos dois.
Mas pelo que eu li até aqui, vale a pena, galera, comprar se vocês quiserem. O nome dele é Mark Benioff.
How does the future work in your organization, or maybe for you personally? And I'm going to come back and talk to you about that again. But this is an opportunity for you to reflect as well, to say, you know what, everything has changed. The past, it's gone. We know that. Look at this. We're all here. Yes, we're socially distanced apart. We are wearing our masks. I have to stay in this little white circle. I can't leave it. You know? So the past is gone. Because if I was in Singapore a year ago, this is not at all how it would be. We'd be in some huge auditorium with thousands of people. All right, the past is gone. What does the future look like? What do we want? We have to begin a beginner's mind. We have to create that beginner's mind. You know, in the beginner's mind, there's every possibility. And in the expert's mind, there's few. So what are we going to do? What are we going to do to create the future that works? Let's look at that. Let's go deep into it. Look, we saw that this year was so powerful. We saw the incredible things that companies like ours or others could do, or even individuals like yourselves. But when we were doing all those things, it reminded us at Salesforce something so powerful that's really part of who we are as an organization, that business can be the greatest platform for change. We have to be part of the solution. The Edelman Trust Survey, which just came out over the last couple weeks, guess what? They said that business is now more trusted than government around the world. That's amazing. That's amazing. But it's a huge responsibility for all of us who are in business to really step up and say, yes, you know what? When there is a crisis, we're going to do whatever we can to help the world. Because businesses are these incredible resources, full of employees and technical capabilities and the ability to operate globally. So that idea that business is the greatest platform for change, well, guess what? We can see that is so much who we are at Salesforce. But we saw something else this year as well. We saw that while Salesforce is committed to trust, well, we've seen a trust divide. You know, we're a trust first. We try to do everything we can as a trust first organization. That's very much who we are, and it's how we started our company. Nothing is more important than the trust we have with all of you. But this year, and I'm sure all of you will agree, we saw a trust divide emerge. It was a trust divide with mistrust and misinformation and miscommunication and misunderstanding and mistreatment. And it affected all of us.
Um dos pontos principais da Salesforce, né, que é a confiança, né? Confiar nos serviços que o Salesforce oferece, por exemplo. Isso é uma referência
customer success and innovation
que a
and
empresa
equality
acredita, né,
and sustainability.
Missão, valores.
So that's very much our mission at Salesforce. We think about how are we going to heal this trust divide, and that's why we're so committed to our core values. Our core values, trust at Salesforce, where trust has always been our highest value. Nothing is more important to us than the trust we have with all of you and with ourselves. And that idea that we're always trust first, that we're deeply committed to customer success, that we're deeply committed to innovation, well, that's one of the reasons that when this pandemic started, we created Work.com. We created a global contact tracing system so that we could help eradicate the virus in countries like this, or in Victoria, Canada, or even back where I live. That idea that contact tracing was extremely important, well, we could see it today, right here. When we buzzed into this hotel, we all had to identify that we were here so that we knew that if there was virus, we would eventually be notified. That's a powerful thought, and it was a thought that we'd never really had a year ago. But that idea that we had to build a contact tracing system or even a vaccine cloud to help now manage a global vaccine implementation, those are things that we had to do quickly and rapidly because innovation, that's an incredibly important part of being successful today. And of course, the equality of every human being. Salesforce is deeply committed to the equality of every human being, and that's one reason why we really dug deep to do whatever we could, especially from a philanthropic standpoint this year. Look, when we lead with our values, we know that we can do well and we can do good. We know that our greatest inspiration this year, well, I have to say, it's all of you. When we saw the stories that were coming out of your companies, out of your personal work, when we saw what you were doing, we said, wow, this is incredible. Look at these trailblazers. Look at the actions they're taking. Look at all this amazing work. Like when we just heard from Joanna, that was a great story. Wasn't that amazing? And Joanna's amazing, but she represents millions of trailblazers all over the world, 12 million trailblazers. And as we saw the work that they're doing, gathering in community groups in 90 countries, they're all trying to help each other, and they're all trying to help create even their own companies and customer success. Now, that has been a momentum builder for our company, and that's why this year we were so excited to do over $21 billion in revenue, and that's why we're saying this year we're going to do more than $25.5 billion in revenue. And we see now being able to do $50 billion in revenue in the next 5 years. That'll be the second largest software company in the world. And do you want to know what's possible and how it makes it possible and who makes it possible? It's the trailblazers. That is what is so incredible. And they're creating these unbelievable markets. Market share like I've never seen in my career generated by these trailblazers. That is amazing. And it is what inspires me after being at Salesforce for 22 years that I've never been more excited. I have never been more energized about Salesforce and our trailblazers. It is really, truly coming from them. And look at what we've done together. We've built this amazing Salesforce economy. This Salesforce economy now with 4.2 million jobs, $1.2 trillion in GDP impact, incredible. Incredible. And it's really everybody working together to make it happen. And we're doing it with the right values. Not just trust, customer success, innovation, equality, our mantra, if you will, now for 22 years.
Essa é a nova previsão da Salesforce, né? 2025, 4,5 milhões de empregos, de oportunidades, né? Jobs.
We were already a net zero company. We doubled down on our commitments to the oceans and to the trees and everywhere. And we also doubled down on our commitment to focusing on our core ESGs and the Sustainable Development Goals of the United Nations. This was an amazing moment for us this year. It gave us time to reflect. It gave us time to step back. It gave us time to really say, what is it that's truly important to us? How are we going to succeed into the future? Where are we going? Now, at Salesforce, we've seen many futures. We've seen many futures go by. We started, of course, at Cloud One, or what we call Cloud One. That was a time when Amazon and Google were basically emerging, and we said, wow, look at this. Look at, they're creating a whole new software model. That was over 20 years ago. And then about 10 years ago, we were really inspired by the work of Apple and Facebook, and they started to create Cloud 2. And we started to see Cloud 2 emerge, and Cloud 2 started to emerge, and we're, wow, this is incredible. It's a whole new way to work on my phone and with feeds and this incredible capability. But this year, all of us, each and every one of us,
definição aí, né?
The door to Cloud 3, it opens faster than ever before. Zoom, everyone's working from home. We're in a new world. We're saying this is a huge opportunity now to create and extend and complement our new platform. And we took that energy, the vision of Cloud 3, the ability to work from anywhere, and we said, wow, okay, here we go. Customer 360 platform. Enabling our trailblazers, the power of the #1 CRM, delivering solutions quickly and fast time to value, the flexibility, the scalability, taking all of that power. And then, of course, we also did the second largest acquisition in the history of software, Slack, the largest applications acquisition
Segunda maior
in history.
aquisição
Because
da
we
história.
realized for each and every one of our clouds, it was time to transform it to become a work from
Por isso que
anywhere
substituiu até
environment.
o Einstein, né, no Customer
All of our
360.
architecture, all of our capabilities in two fundamental ways. First, that we're completely Slack first, so that we're 100% work from anywhere first. And two, Hyperforce. We rebuilt our architecture onto an incredible new platform called Hyperforce that allowed us to run our core platform on any hyperscaler data center so that our customers could choose where they wanted to manage their data. Yes, we continue to double down on the experience of the applications and on the core intelligence applications.
Hyperforce foi lançado no Dreamforce.
Source of truth, but we ultimately are focused on delivering what we call the operating system for Cloud 3. The idea that we can deliver an entirely new capability to our customers that lets them be successful from anywhere, whether it's their customers or their employees or their partners or
A ideia deles é que, a gente falou numa live recente aqui, né? E algumas coisas que as pessoas provavelmente não sabiam sobre Salesforce, que a Salesforce está ali dentro de uma estrutura AWS, né? E com Hyperforce você tem a opção ali de escolher onde você quer ficar, né? Eu quero ficar no Azure, eu quero ficar no Google Cloud. É óbvio que isso não é para qualquer instância, para qualquer tamanho de cliente. Aqui a gente está falando de clientes extremamente grandes que vão ter esse poder de decisão mesmo, né? Muitas vezes não é nem a questão de tamanho, mas também de políticas da empresa, que fala, não, toda a minha infra já está dentro do Azure e eu quero manter isso dentro do Azure. Agora você tem meio que essa opção de decidir ali onde a sua nuvem vai ficar, né, com Hyperforce.
And you can see it right here by industry. When we look at what's happening in the financial services industry or in retail and consumer goods, or especially in the public sector,
Também a gente falou, né, de algumas nuvens, né?
with the vaccine management around the world,
Financial service,
we have to move. We have to be able to deliver a whole new generation of technology, and we have to do it right now.
Healthcare.
because we realize
Public
no
sector,
matter
que é o
what industry
do
we are
governo,
operating in,
non-profit,
well, we're going to have to deliver
media,
an incredibly
media
new solution
communication,
because our
manufacture
customers'
automotive, também
needs
já
are very
conhecia.
different than they
O
were
education, esqueci de
even
falar
just
do education, cara.
year
É uma
ago.
nuvem voltada
Because we
para
all
universidade,
realize
voltada para
it's a
escolas.
new
Né?
future. We have a new beginner's mind. And in our beginner's mind, we can now see the things that we have to deliver, the values that we have to operate from. It's different. We can see, we have to look at where is the future working. That's why we're here in Singapore. This is where the future is working. And Salesforce is where the future works. So we've completely rebuilt our business for Cloud 3. And that's why I'm here, because it's where the future is working and we're studying. We're looking deeply at Singapore. That's actually what I've been doing all year. And I've been so inspired to be here, you know? And we're trust first. And with the Customer 360 platform to work from everywhere, the ability then to have Slack first, Customer 360, serving all stakeholders, not just all shareholders. This is an incredible vision that I think we can inspire ourselves.
Cara, pode
and hopefully
parecer muito conspiração, né? Mas é engraçado o momento que eles se aproximam, né? Tipo, agora o cara tá em Singapura, meio que próximo ali da, digamos assim, próxima grande economia do mundo. Acho que faz todo sentido, né? Pensando em negócio, né?
See this incredible change that we've had to make in our company. Well, how will you get it?
Só mostra que eles estão um passo à frente, né, cara?
What is preventing you from moving forward? We've seen the obstacles thrown at us over the last year. I'm sure you have a lot of your own obstacles as well. Well, we need to think about what are the obstacles that you need to relieve as well so that you can move forward rapidly, and how will you know that you have success? So to take a deeper look at all of this, please welcome our President and our Chief Operating Officer, Brett Taylor. Let me put my mask on, Brett.
Thank you, Mark.
I'm ready. You're clear. Get ready.
We've done the swap. We've done the swap.
Okay. I still have my mask on.
Thank you, Mark. It's so exciting to be here in Singapore. You know, as Mark said, after a year of working from our home offices and homeschooling our kids while we try to work at the same time, it's really inspiring to get a glimpse of the future. And as James Corden said, it's really a time to be optimistic. As hard as this year was, seeing how Singapore has responded to the pandemic, seeing the global vaccine rollout, I feel like there's a light at the end of this tunnel that has been way too long this year. And that's really what this presentation is about. Every single CEO that I talked to has really pivoted their conversation, particularly over the past few months.
Só, deixa eu fazer uma troca aqui de transmissão para ver se dá uma melhorada no vídeo para vocês.
And saying, how do we get back to growth? And how do we get back to growth in this all digital work from anywhere world that was so different than the world in which we built all of our businesses? How do we get back to growth in Cloud 3.0? And that's really our vision for this company.
Opa, peraí.
Data than we know what to do with. You can see and understand that data with Tableau. And thanks to the power of MuleSoft and the Salesforce platform, this is a platform that's really going to get you agility. You know, because this past year has, I think, been defined by change. I think, as many people have said, I think we've done a decade's worth of digitization in just 12 months. And candidly, when I look forward to the next 12 months, I think the changes will continue just as rapidly. So when we're thinking about this Customer 360 platform, it's not just about addressing the problems that we can see ahead of us. It's really thinking about how do you set up your company to respond rapidly to this all digital work from anywhere world, where your employee expectations, your partner expectations, your customer expectations, they're going to change more rapidly than ever before. You know, in November, Black Friday, Cyber Monday was just called Cyber Week, and it's not going back. And you know, all those customer meetings that I now do over Zoom, I'm not going to just get on an airplane next year because I can. Everything has changed. We are living a glimpse of the future right now, And as Mark said, this is an opportunity to really say, how do we make the future work for us? And we've been spending the past year really building new capabilities into this Salesforce Customer 360 platform to make it successful for you in this new normal. As Mark mentioned, the foundation of this platform is Hyperforce. This is one of the most exciting new developments at Salesforce in the past 20 years. We've completely re-architected Salesforce to run on the public cloud. We're not building our own data centers anymore. This is a big change for us. But what's more important is what it does for all of you. This means we can meet your customers where they are. Hyperforce is already live in India and Germany, and it's going live in 10 new regions next year. This will mean Salesforce is available wherever your customers are. And of course, because we're Salesforce, we built trust into the platform. So whether you're a small business or a heavily regulated bank or a public sector customer, Hyperforce meets your standards and compliance needs. This is an incredible moment for Salesforce and our infrastructure. And on top of Hyperforce, we've built the single source of truth. This is really the foundation of the Salesforce platform. This is where you can put all of your customer data. Now here's what's special about this though. Whether you're a B2B customer with thousands of customers or a B2C customer with hundreds of millions of customers, the single source of truth will scale to your needs. This is the customer data platform that every single company needs. And on top of this single source of truth, we built Einstein. This is our AI platform. Now, I've talked to a lot of CIOs that have invested a lot in AI and not seen the returns on that investment. Einstein is different. It's different for this reason. You can deploy it with clicks, not code.
Pontas da empresa, né?
Einstein is actually doing over 80 billion predictions every single day.
Olha.
Whether it's personalizing
Fica ali entre
the products on
fica ali entre as partes de segurança, de database, aí vem a parte de inteligência e depois vem a experiência, né, do...
Every single one of your customer experiences can be personalized to the customer. It's a really powerful and easy to use platform. And then on top of this intelligence platform, we have built the capability to make so many different customer experiences, because in the all digital work from anywhere world, your customers are talking to you on every single different device. So whether it's a custom app or a website or a chat bot, you can meet your customers where they are. But as Mark said, we're in this new normal, this Cloud 3.0. It's an era of Zoom and Slack, and that's why we're so excited about the idea of channels, and that's why we're so excited about the acquisition of Slack, which we announced our intent to acquire late last year. Slack is the HQ in the cloud. In a world where your employees are working from anywhere, where your partners are working from anywhere, your customers are engaging you from anywhere, Slack plus Customer 360 is the way to succeed in the new normal. And Slack is the way you can find success. Whether your employees are working in a flexible work environment, a distributed work environment, or coming into the office, Slack is a platform to accelerate your growth. And we're so excited about the prospect of bringing these two platforms together. And we think about success, what sets Salesforce apart is we don't want to do it alone. We have the most robust partner ecosystem in the industry. We want to show up with all of the partners you use in your technology platform and show up together to make you successful. And what's been so inspiring in this really long, hard year is despite all of the obstacles in front of us, is all the success we've seen in our customers.
Salesforce sempre foi boa em construir parcerias, né?
Stories of resilience, to me, is inspiring.
Não só com grandes empresas, né? Se a gente olhar a parceria que tem com o próprio Trailblazers, né? A gente está aqui hoje fazendo esse evento porque a gente comprou a marca também, né? Comprou a empresa, então uma parceria que para ela é interessante também, os Trailblazers. Tanto é que elas abriram falando isso, né? Thank you, obrigado pelos
Trailblazers. This community has driven so much success and it's inspiring. So I'm going to pass it back over to Mark to share two stories of two incredible customers, one in the public sector and one in the private sector, that really represent what it means to make the future work. Back to you, Mark.
Duas histórias, né? Uma do setor público e uma do setor privado. Vamos ver as histórias.
Great job. All right. Well, we are so excited to be in Singapore. And we're excited in Singapore because this is where the future is working, and we are here and we're looking at how it is working. And we're trying to inspire others all over the world so that they can create the future that they want as well and learn from what is happening here in Singapore. But we have found a lot of exciting success stories, not just in Singapore, but here and around the world, and in different cities and counties and countries. And I want to talk to you about a couple of those right now. And the first one I'm going to bring you is an amazing story in Lake County. So let's take a look at that amazing video.
Lake County is an absolutely wonderful place. We have these magical downtowns.
You might pass a mom and pop store. You can look out the front of the library and just about see Lake Michigan.
We have such a diverse community. People of all races and ethnicities, all gender identities.
There's a broad base of people that have, and then there's a broad base of people that are in need. And as we saw the effects of COVID-19, the needs became even more apparent.
2019 versus 2020 is night and day. It feels like a war zone.
For every one Caucasian person that had COVID-19,
Sumiu o áudio. Sumiu o áudio para você também? Sumiu o seu áudio.
O meu áudio ou o áudio do vídeo?
O do vídeo, o seu agora voltou. Então era o áudio do vídeo.
Out how many of which vaccine to get in for second doses.
When it comes to vaccine orchestration, having a single source of truth is the most important thing. The CDC changes their information almost daily now. Our system has to be able to respond to that. Our system can talk to other hospitals, to pharmacies, to businesses and their HR systems. And so we're able to get this 360-degree view of our community members.
Were they a first responder? Were they a factory worker? Were they a school teacher? Because that was going to put them into a priority list. We had zip codes that were very hard hit. We want to get those people vaccinated first.
The Salesforce platform allows us to do that in a way that is seamless to our community members.
All these people were helped. It doesn't get any better than that. Doors are open, people are collaborating, sharing data and information. They're going deep into communities to support people where they are.
Which is an amazing thing, because that allows us to make sure that everyone who wants to get a vaccine in Lake County can get a vaccine in Lake County.
To be part of this response is such a privilege. You know that for every second shot we're giving, that's somebody less likely to get this, pass it on, and possibly lose a life over this. It's a happy day every time we come to this site to distribute vaccines.
We have been able to create transformational change within our community, and having families see the Lake County Health Department is our ally. And what they're offering in this All-Vax is a trusted source. It's not the government and us. It's us as a community. We're going to make it. We're going to be okay.
Well, we're live here in Singapore, and we're inspired by what's happening in Lake County and the Department of Health. And so many of us are waiting for our vaccines. We've been through so much this year, whether it was building and deploying the contact tracing systems, and now building and deploying the vaccine management systems. And we could not be more grateful to those companies that have pioneered the innovation and creating the vaccines. And now we have to look at all those incredible heroes who are distributing these vaccines. So I'm delighted to welcome now, direct from Lake County, Jefferson. Jefferson, can you hear me? I'm in Singapore.
Agora o áudio não falha daqui não, é de lá mesmo.
Well, Jefferson, we are so grateful to you, and thank you to you and your team for everything that you are doing every single day. It must be about 8 o'clock there now. You've had a full day of vaccine management in Singapore, and please let us express our deepest gratitude all the way from Singapore. Just give us an update, Jefferson, on what's happening with vaccines today.
So today we had one of our vaccine distribution points, and we vaccinated over 600 of our community members today. And that's just having one of our sites operational. Tomorrow we get to go out and do it all again, and we'll be up around 1,200, and that's an everyday occurrence for us now.
Jefferson, let me ask you a question. What do you see that's going to happen
Cara, o que eu tava
next?
pensando sobre esse Vaccine Cloud é que o piloto é bem sério, né? Se fazer um piloto, você não pode ser um piloto MVP, né?
Meio que é prova de falhas já, né? Encerrar um lote, né? O cara toma uma vacina e depois ele vai tomar a segunda de outro lote.
Imagina. Não são bugs comuns, né, de projetos, são bugs que geram um impacto grande.
So I think the one thing that everyone across the globe can do to support your public servants who are really trying to work very hard to get this vaccine out is to just support them and say that, you know, I'm ready, I'm here to get my vaccine when it's available for me, and know that we are all trying our very best to get that vaccine out to everyone who wants it.
Well, thank you, Jefferson. We're so grateful to you. We're grateful to everyone there. Please send them all of our regards, and please do God's work. Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody. And now we're going to take a look at a deeper level of what's happening in Lake County. So we're going to take a look at not only the amazing things that have happened with Jefferson, but we're going to take an incredible look at a deep dive with our own Dr. Ash at how the vaccine management is working. Let's go deeper.
I've worked in public health for years, and I'll tell you, the most important thing is to put your stakeholders first in a crisis and stand up resources fast. That's why I'm so excited to share our latest innovation, Vaccine Cloud, helping organizations in both the public and private sector better serve the needs of their residents, employees, and customers during this crucial time. So, let's take a look at how public health agencies across the globe leverage the platform to scale their vaccine rollout. The first step is to get residents registered, which is why we're helping government agencies stand up COVID-19 vaccination portals. From anywhere, residents can register, access all of the latest information, and schedule their appointment.
Isso aí é uma demo do Vaccine Cloud, galera.
Schedule, they'll be able to select the site and the time that is most convenient for them, whether it's with their primary care physician, or a pharmacy, or a drive-through clinic. In this case, this particular resident selects his physician. Once the appointment has been registered, he receives a confirmation via SMS or email to ensure a safe and seamless check-in process for everyone.
Seu agendamento para tomar vacina, né?
Clinicians use Health Cloud to access the patient's record, complete with their immunization history and health information. They can also receive insights around the patient's appointment, arrival, helping to optimize the clinic schedule and eliminate wasted dosage from missed.
Esse é exatamente o tipo de demo que vende, porque é tudo junto. E aí parece que é só comprar licença de sales, né? Compra licença de sales e faz.
The patient is at his primary care provider's office. His medical history and known allergies are reviewed and confirmed with the clinician to ensure that they're given the correct vaccine based on the latest health and pharmaceutical guidance. If he's getting a 2-dose vaccine, the clinician identifies the dose number to keep the inventory accurate. And because this is this patient's first shot, he'll be placed in a journey in Marketing Cloud that will ensure that he is reminded when he needs to come in for his second vaccine administration. Now let's zoom out to the state level. Public health administrators need to understand the complete picture of the vaccination progress. Vaccine administration data is pulled from Salesforce, pulled into Tableau, allowing them to gain the insights that they need. But it isn't just this data that needs to be surfaced. To get a truly comprehensive view of the vaccination efforts, they need to securely integrate external data from across state databases, portals, and more. To unlock and unify this data from external systems, they use MuleSoft. MuleSoft provides the ability to share data between systems, and they can achieve this faster and easier than ever with the MuleSoft Accelerator for Healthcare, a set of pre-built APIs and integrations. By unlocking this external data and bringing it into Health Cloud and Tableau,
fontes de dados externas públicas, né, do governo, etc. Foi até que você questionou, né?
In this case, we see that about 47% of the doses have been given, which is on track for the program. But it's important to look at how this looks by county. We can see exactly which counties are
Esse
lagging
tipo de
and which
relatório,
are leading
galera,
across the
só vai
vaccine
encontrar com
administration
um
and
tableau,
COVID
não
spikes.
tem como
Einstein
ou
predictions help
desenvolvimento.
public health officials use data to ensure equitable and comprehensive vaccine rollout across the state, county, and local level. Seeing the data visually helps them immediately spot potential trouble in Pacific County. They have a lower percentage of doses administered compared to the state as a whole and would like to better understand why. Einstein surfaces insights on Pacific County's vaccination rates based on public health best practices and makes recommendations to help improve rates. And without leaving this dashboard, they can push out a training module on My Trailhead, which will enable additional personnel at local health agencies and clinics get essential training for vaccine administration and handling. I've seen this firsthand. This kind of innovation can help save lives. The power of Vaccine Cloud and Tableau will allow public health agencies to put their residents and stakeholders first with the world's #1 most trusted, intelligent, and scalable platform.
All right, how about a hand for Dr. Ash? Yeah, that was terrific. And you know, that's a technology and that's a product that didn't even exist just a few months ago. And here it is already being deployed across the world. And I think that's the type of innovation that we're looking for today. You know, we're going to have to see these problems and take these problems down. And we've seen that this year, whether it is contact management or whether it's vaccine management or all the applications that we've had to build with customers all over the world. This has been an unbelievable moment. And I'll tell you, we have some incredible things that are happening throughout the whole world. And one of them is, well, look at all of us are wearing masks, right? And I'll tell you, one of the companies that has done such an incredible job with the technology that's kept us all safe this year is 3M.
Eles vão mostrar o case da 3M, né?
You know, I remember the time I got the first call that our local hospital needed more PPE. And then I would have never thought that Salesforce would have had to acquire 60 million pieces of PPE and distribute it to over 300 hospitals internationally. But it inspired me to watch the work that was happening at 3M, a key supplier of all of this technology. And I thought you'd love to see what they're doing. So let's take a look at 3M.
We're dealing with the pandemic in many ways. One, of course, is that we are supporting companies and health workers around the world with personal protective equipment, but we can't see our customers. We can't go there and help them with their solutions. We have most people still working from home.
The pandemic definitely forced us to make things different. I think there was panic at first, like, how am I going to do my job when I'm remote 100%?
Here I am from my living room. On a regular basis, I'm working with people from around the world.
You have to think the scale of truly global. We're 4 big businesses, multi-billion dollars, that are totally different. Changing and pivoting is it's difficult to do.
We need a consistent way to use the data properly, analyze it, see where the opportunities are, learn from mistakes.
The only way to do that is to have the data right at our fingertips.
With Salesforce and the Customer 360 platform, we can take advantage of that. And that's where this single source of truth concept comes together.
The fact that we can put that information in a central location has really been a turning point in working remote.
You integrate customer service, credit control teams, technical service people, and our sales people to work on the same data together.
So that we have one source of truth, that the data means something to all of us from around the world.
Customers want it right now. They don't want to wait anymore. Nobody has time to go back. They just want to move forward.
What we're talking about here is knowing who your customer is.
And getting the data to tell a story to make us more successful.
But we're doing it at scale in days, not weeks and months, and it just works.
We can only speculate what the future is, but we want to be positioned for the future, and Salesforce helps us do that quickly.
Well, 3M has been an amazing story. And you know, we're coming here live from Singapore talking about many amazing stories. But to see that Customer 360, to see 3M's deep commitment to customer success, to see 3M's deep commitment to innovation, to
global leadership, to global execution, ela já era próxima da Salesforce antes da pandemia.
3M stepped in
sei
whenever
dizer.
they were needed
Eu
from a
nunca tinha
philanthropic
visto
standpoint.
nada
I can speak to that personally. And that
parceria
person who led that work, who really made all of these things happen,
antes disso.
is Mike Roman, the Chief
Não
Executive
lembro de ter
Officer of
visto também nos
3M. Let's
eventos,
welcome
né?
him.
Os
Mike,
grandes
great to
eventos
see
do
you.
Force. Nada da 3M.
Hi, Mark. How are you? Great to be with you. Thank you for inviting me today.
Mike, I just want to thank you for everything that you've done this year for the whole world. 3M technology has been absolutely critical, and especially in regards to what you did with PPE, but many other key innovations that 3M has led, your deep commitment to your customers, whether it was B2B or B2C, and also your work with world governments. It was exemplary leadership. Let me ask you a question, Mike. What has been your greatest challenge this year?
Well, Mark, you kind of surrounded it. It's leading as a company in the role that we play. We have a unique role in responding to the pandemic. You heard it in the video. We talk about fighting the pandemic from every angle, and personal protective equipment, producing more personal protective equipment than ever before. We increased our production globally by 4-fold in the middle of the pandemic, and then getting it to frontline healthcare workers. That's one of the first and foremost priorities and challenges. We had 3 simple priorities as a company in the middle of the pandemic. The first was protecting our employees. We had
fazer uma tradução simultânea.
Working remotely, working from home.
Um abraço, cara. Cara, acho que tradução simultânea vai ser um pouco difícil de fazer, né? Porque os caras mandam, mas pô, a gente pode comentar, né, sobre o que eles estão falando. Nesse exemplo aí, por exemplo, o CEO da 3M está contando como eles encararam, né, esse ano, quais foram os desafios que eles tiveram. Eles meio que lutaram contra a pandemia, né, ou pelo menos para dar suporte para a pandemia. Criando máscara, criando os produtos da 3M.
We were also finding ourselves stepping into the middle of a public fight around fraud, helping to combat the fraud around N95 respirators and people that were price gouging in the middle of the pandemic. And we worked with law enforcement, we worked with a lot of pro bono lawyers around the country to help fight that successfully. And then we had to continue to deliver for customers more broadly. Our customers continued to operate. We kept almost 100% of our factories globally up and running, and being able to adapt to their needs in the middle of supply chain interruptions, not being able to call on customers face to face. It was really a unique role for us, keeping the company going and continue to fight that pandemic.
Well, Mike, 3M has always been a great customer of Salesforce, and I'll tell you that we've always had a great partnership, but it was this year that you redefined your personal leadership. And this was a year without challenge. This is a year that you had challenges, you overcame them.
Respondendo um pouco a sua pergunta, né, Arthur? Ele falou que a Salesforce sempre já foi um cliente, né? Já é um cliente Salesforce, né? Já foi um grande parceiro da Salesforce.
Meu ponto é porque eu acho que Salesforce, os caras são muito ligeiros, muito ligeiros. Então faz todo sentido, acho que para o World Tour. E se o World Tour deve ter sido os caras começaram a planejar isso, acho que no World Tour anterior, quando eles viram que não ia rolar do jeito que eles queriam. E aí eles já devem ter pego um case e enfim, os caras são muito espertos com isso.
Tem relação ali com o produto, né? Com Work.com, com o Vaccine Cloud, com o que a 3M produz efetivamente, né? Máscara, vidros para poder transportar vacina, uma série de coisas que estão relacionadas, né? Sim. Tentaram trazer um case que vem de frente com o que todo mundo está vivendo, né? Eu acho que é uma forma também que a Salesforce tem procurado fazer, que é atingir mais pessoas que sequer sabem que é Salesforce. Então, o nome vai ganhando peso. Hoje todo mundo sabe que é Microsoft, mesmo que nunca tenha usado o computador, é capaz dela saber o que é Microsoft.
In many of our businesses, in our healthcare business in particular. This case, there was just so much more. They needed us. They needed us to come in and work with them to bring more product to the marketplace, get it where it was needed more directly, and really just respond in ways that we hadn't been required to until the pandemic hit. And so that that engendered a lot of trust. And it was something where I learned personally that we had to step up to a new level of how we focused on public-private partnerships. And so it really was a great learning. And I think like a lot of things that we learned during the pandemic, they will be strengths for us as we emerge and the economies recover.
Well, Mike, thank you for everything that you have done this year, and thank you to all of your employees and associates as well all over the world. Your leadership has been exemplary, and thank you for the deep commitment to customer success and innovation and trust that 3M has demonstrated. And now we're going to take a look at an incredible deep dive into your technology, and so I'm so excited to call on Clara Shih at Salesforce to take a look at exactly how 3M has done all this. Thank you so much, Mike, for everything that you are doing.
Hi, everyone. My name is Clara Shih, and I'm the CEO of Service Cloud. I'm so excited to share with you how the Customer 360 can help any company deliver excellent customer experiences. To ensure that healthcare workers are getting authentic PPE, like masks, 3M partnered with Salesforce to spin up a solution integrated with Service Cloud. Thanks to the speed and agility of the Salesforce platform, they did this in 48 hours. Let's see it in action. An office manager at Cahill Health, a local hospital, purchased 3M N95 masks from a third party. After hearing reports on the news about fraudulent PPE, she heads to 3M's website and submits a form to verify their authenticity.
Service Cloud, galera, dentro
This
da 3M.
automatically creates a case in Salesforce and routes it to a service agent trained to identify fraud. Fortunately, these masks are indeed genuine. Without leaving the console, the agent sends a confirmation email, automatically closing the case.
Falou ali, né, que
Cahill Health
muitas fraudes,
confidently
muitas
distributes the
máscaras
masks to their frontline
falsificadas
workers.
e como que você
That's how
pode
Salesforce
abrir
helps
caso
3M
para
fight
isso quando
fraud at
você
scale,
achar
ensuring
que
the
tem uma
safety of
máscara
their
que recebeu uma
customers.
máscara que é
Since the
falsificada.
beginning of the pandemic, 3M has seized over 8 million fraudulent masks. But it's not just 3M. Salesforce is helping companies in all industries adapt to their evolving needs. Let's look at how some of our newest innovations can help your business get back to growth. COVID has brought new challenges for sales teams. Field reps are shifting to selling digitally, and they're expanding their territory to cover more industries. To help reps adapt, we're launching 2 new powerful capabilities: Salesforce Meetings and Trailhead in-app learning. With Salesforce Meetings, reps can quickly prepare and launch video calls right from the app to help drive impactful customer conversations in one view.
Isso aí,
This
Salesforce
meeting brief
Meetings.
summarizes key information like who's attending the meeting and relevant activity history. Einstein ensures reps
pouco
never
ali
miss key insights like this one.
do task, né,
Here, Einstein
evento e
leverages the data
compromisso
from the customer's
mais
recent
voltado
service
para o
case
online,
to
né,
suggest an
para
upsell
vídeo,
opportunity.
chamada.
In this case, Einstein recommends a bundle of products based on the customer's recent purchase to position in the meeting. With in-app learning, the sales reps access relevant modules that help them best prepare for the call, and they complete that training right within the flow of their work. Now that's what I call just-in-time learning. Now that she's fully prepared, she can launch the meeting without ever leaving Salesforce. With everything on one screen, the rep stays engaged with the customer while taking notes and collaborating with her team on new insights, like the fact that this customer handles the purchasing of medical supplies across all of Cahill Health's locations. Once the call is over, Einstein identifies the next best actions to take based on the context of the conversation. New contacts to create, emails to send out, and tasks to follow up on, ensuring nothing falls through the cracks as this rep moves on to her next call. All of the insights gathered across these sales and service interactions inform marketing on the most relevant content and campaigns to share with customers. In this case, the marketing team launches a campaign around their B2B customer portal and leverages Salesforce Customer 360 audiences to identify the right segment of customers to target. The marketer drags and drops attributes from all channels, sales, service, marketing, commerce, as well as external systems, to create a segment of customers with the highest propensity to use this product.
Service, e-commerce,
Customers like Cahill Health.
É, isso aí é o que acontece
We
quando
then
você tem
activate our
dinheiro
marketing across a variety of channels,
comprar
including
todas as
social and
do
email.
céu ao limite, né?
The content is
Do céu ao limite,
personalized and
aí.
relevant. Our favorite customer over at Cahill Health signs up for the site to streamline her future purchases. This site is powered by B2B commerce, which allows companies to create personalized, self-service buying
essa parte eu acho mesmo que seja cenário real, digamos assim, né? Poucos clientes têm esse cenário. Eu acho que é interessante a gente olhar porque é onde todo cliente quer chegar, né? É o que ele deseja. Então,
with B2B order management, companies have a single source of truth across merchants, inventory, and fulfillment channels.
Eu mesmo já me peguei agora mesmo imaginando aqui a gente usando Quick em uma call com o cliente.
Exato. Não tem como, né? É impossível não querer.
And informing them of their upcoming appointment with a field service technician. With Salesforce Customer 360, you have a single source of truth for every customer interaction across marketing, commerce, sales, and service. Well, there you have it. I'm so inspired by what our customers are doing on Salesforce.
Well, thank you so much, Clara, and that was a fantastic look into the work of 3M and also the Customer 360 platform, but also a look into Cloud 3 and where we're all going in the work from anywhere world. Well, this has been an exciting moment. We've been thrilled to come here to Singapore to launch our fiscal year 22. We came to Singapore because this is where the future is working. We've been paying attention to how it's working, and we're paying attention to why that's so important, because we all want to get back to work and back to growth in this incredible year. So now I want to ask you, what are you going to do to make this happen? How are you going to make the future work for you? What actions are you going to take? What are the values that are going to guide you? You heard some of the values from these different organizations, whether it was our values or the incredible values of from Lake County, or even from the values of 3M. What are your values? What's the most important thing to you this year? How will you be guided? What actions will you take? What obstacles will you have to overcome? Well, we're excited to partner with you to help create your success and to help create the future that we all want. We couldn't be more thrilled to be here. We're in Singapore, where the future is working, and Salesforce is where the future works. But it's you, it's all of you, our trailblazers, who are making it work. And this is our call to action to you, to think about how you're making the future work for your business, for your customers, for the world. Look, we can do this all together, and we can leave all of our fears behind as we head into this incredible future where it's clearly working. So let's go. I'm thrilled to work with you. I'm looking forward to spending more time here in Singapore and with you in other cities all over the world. And now I'd like to welcome a tremendous entertainer here in Singapore that we all know and love. Please welcome Nathan Hartono. Nathan?
Musiquinha para descontrair agora.
Nathan, you got behind me. Yes. All right, welcome, Nathan. We're thrilled to have you.
All righty.
Please welcome Nathan. Come on, Nathan.
Thank you. All right.
Bem-vindo, Nathan.
We safe? We safe. All right, this comes off. Hello, everybody. Hope you're having a wonderful morning. To you guys, wherever you're watching from planet Earth, hope you're staying safe. Hope you're close to your loved ones, and thank you so much for tuning in. My name's Nathan Hartono. I am a musician here from Singapore, behind me. And just going to sing a bunch of my songs for you guys. I'm going to start nice and easy. Because this is probably the earliest I've woken up to sing in a very long time, and definitely the first time I've worn like a suit in like a year. So thank you, Salesforce, for giving me that excuse to like put this thing on again. The song's called Electricity. Bright lights, but brighter eyes you have.
Agora é praticamente uma música aqui de encerramento do evento, né? Focaram bem. Vou até baixar um pouco mais o som aqui. Eles focaram bem aqui nas nuvens novas, né, por assim dizer, né? Health Cloud. Falaram um pouco também do que tem em relação ao high performance, que você pode estar em qualquer lugar, com velocidade,
Hyperforce.
como Hyperforce. Obrigado. O trust, né? Confiar na plataforma, confiar no que a Salesforce está trazendo para a gente. E de fato a gente confia mesmo, a gente que usa a plataforma ali confia muito na plataforma, né? Então acho que são os valores da Salesforce e isso faz também com que a gente acredite nisso. E por isso que vocês estão hoje aqui assistindo essa live com a gente, né? Porque a gente também acredita, vocês também acreditam no produto Salesforce, a empresa Salesforce. A gente viu várias nuvens, né? A gente foi pincelando ali algumas nuvens até meio que escondida, né? O Tableau misturado com Analytics ali.
Einstein, muito Einstein.
Einstein, bastante Einstein, mostrando bastante do Einstein, o poder do Einstein. Isso vem desde que o Einstein foi lançado, na verdade, né? Todo evento que a Salesforce faz vai ter uma coisinha do Einstein ali. E embora o Einstein não seja algo que é inalcançável, né? A gente já pode habilitar o Einstein Search, por exemplo, dentro da org de maneira gratuita, sem ter um custo adicional para isso, né? Então, diferente do Tableau, que dependendo do que você for usar, você vai ter que ter licença. Não tem como fugir disso. Sim. Então, mostrou ali o Commerce Cloud, Service Cloud, mostrou um pouco de Sales, mas mostrou Sales. Quip também mostrou ali escondidinho o Quip, mostrou meetings, né? Agendamento de reuniões e uma reunião acontecendo. E até mostrando o caso onde, após acabar a reunião, o Einstein vai dar insights para você do que rolou na reunião, né? Então, olha, tem um e-mail, cria um e-mail de follow-up, cria uma task, cria isso. Então, relacionado com o que rolou na conversa, provavelmente olhando o áudio, olhando o documento do Quip e meio que integrando tudo de uma forma única, que é o que a Salesforce prega como Customer 360, né? Você tem uma visão única ali do produto, do cliente dentro de um produto só, né? Sem ficar indo para vários produtos para ter a informação do cliente.
Sim. Eu achei, assim, normalmente os eventos da Salesforce são exatamente, para quem nunca assistiu, exatamente como esse. Eles mostram o poder de onde você pode chegar com todas as integrações. Sempre encanta, porque quando tudo está funcionando junto é uma coisa que o cliente não tem como não querer, né? A gente quer, qualquer um quer. Então, normalmente os eventos são assim. O que esse evento me mostrou de diferente, e que eu achei interessante, é que a Salesforce, desde que ela começou, a galera acha que é uma tecnologia passageira, né? Uma tecnologia que vai passar e uma hora vai, como todas, sofrer aquela queda. E esse evento mostrou bastante que os caras estão ainda à frente, mesmo com uma coisa que ninguém sabia que ia acontecer, né? Então, mesmo com um cenário que não tinha como você meio que se preparar, né? Não tinha como você estar à frente. Então, isso me deixa seguro, me deixa, como no começo lá, confiando mais e etc. Então, acho que esse evento foi muito interessante por esse ponto. E, obviamente, pelos pontos das nuvens.
Você falou, né? Mostra que a gente não está pisando num terreno que pode desmoronar a qualquer momento, né?
Exato.
Como você falou, foi criado o Work.com, e o Mark Benoff até mostrou isso aqui, né? Foi criado o Work.com em pouco tempo, né? Se não me engano, foram em 6 semanas eles criaram do zero, do scratch. E o Vaccine Cloud também, né? Segundo ele falou hoje aqui, foi um produto também criado do zero. Então, tão pouco tempo você criar um produto do zero e disponibilizar para o mercado. E até aqui, não olhando só o lado financeiro, mas olhando também o impacto que isso traz para a comunidade, para as pessoas como um todo, né? Para o tempo que tudo isso aconteceu. Assim como a vacina, as mais variadas vacinas surgiram num tempo recorde, né? Criar uma solução técnica para isso, para controlar tudo isso, também foi num tempo recorde. E a Salesforce conseguiu fazer isso com muita facilidade, com muita maestria, como ela sempre faz os produtos dela, né?
Sim. Poucas empresas grandes conseguiram, né, ter esse destaque no meio desse cenário, né? Se você for listar aqui, sei lá, dá 10 empresas enfim, acho que esse para mim foi o principal destaque. E aí, falando das nuvens, eu acho que eles mostraram um pouco o Sales, porque o Sales se vende, né? É que eles querem trazer o Customer 360 e aí não vai ter como eles trazerem isso sem focar, por exemplo, trazer a CEO do Service Cloud. Essa é a minha opinião, né? Eu acho que isso vai acontecer mais vezes. Eu acho que em todos os eventos vão ser focados mais no service ou no commerce ou nas nuvens que normalmente não são padrão ali, né? Não são o core da Salesforce. Mas eu achei animal também. Fiquei afinzaço de usar Quip e o Meetings junto. O negócio é bem da hora, né?
Até o MuleSoft, né? Que essa semana que passou agora surgiu um meme, um vídeo meme na internet, né? Mostrando um vídeo, uma apresentação, uma pessoa como se fosse um presidente ali falando, que era o customer, e depois ele sai cumprimentando várias pessoas que seriam os produtos da Salesforce, né? E o último produto em si que tem ali para cumprimentar é o MuleSoft, e ele passa reto, passa batido, ele meio que ignora, né? Então isso remete a gente que muitas empresas ignoram o MuleSoft, né? E a gente vê que aqui a Salesforce trouxe isso como um ponto importante, né? Como algo que já tem um preset para você quando você for aplicar ou for instalar, ou, vamos dizer, aplicar, né? Aplicar o Vaccine Cloud numa instituição ou numa organização, que isso já teria algumas integrações prontas, né? Então, você tem um tempo de colocar isso em produção muito mais rápido, porque a integração num processo de deploy, num processo de aplicar um produto novo, né? Ou go live, né? A palavra que estava procurando. A integração, quando a gente quer fazer um go live, é a parte mais complicada, é a parte que toma mais tempo. E o MuleSoft vem para poder justamente encurtar esse tempo o máximo possível, né? Então, você não precisa se parar para ficar fazendo um monte de chamada REST e fazendo parse de dados, sendo que você já tem um MuleSoft que vai fazer isso para você de uma forma totalmente transparente e te dá velocidade para você focar no negócio onde você, de fato, vai precisar focar energia, né?
Sim, total. E um outro destaque que eu reparei aqui, na verdade, quando a Salesforce meio que fez a parceria ali com o Alibaba, né, com o grupo Alibaba, já dava para ver meio que para onde ela queria crescer também, né, que era meio que ali pro lado da Ásia e tal. E aí agora tem esse World Tour em Singapura, com a ênfase do Where the Future Works, né? Então, eu acho interessante esse movimento de nesse momento tá movendo, não nesse momento com relação ao Covid e tal, mas nesse momento de mercado, né, de potências meio que trocando de potência e tudo mais. Acho isso interessante também. Acho que é um ponto a se analisar.
Concordo plenamente. Bom, pessoal, acho que é isso. A gente conseguiu dar aí um overview para vocês. Foi uma live longa, né? A gente está aqui já 1h30 em live. Espero que vocês tenham curtido aí com a gente. Provavelmente quem teve dificuldade com o idioma ficou difícil de entender algumas coisas ali. As falas são bem rápidas mesmo. O Bruno até brincou, né? Fazer uma tradução simultânea. Não era a ideia aqui, tá? Não era a ideia de ficar fazendo tradução simultânea do que estava rolando. A gente nem tem toda essa expertise no idioma para poder fazer isso. Nossa ideia era mais olhar para o que estava sendo lançado, e a gente pegar essas pinceladas de produtos que iam estar surgindo ali, escondidinhos, sem a gente ver, né? E trazer para vocês. Eu acho que a gente conseguiu fazer isso. Acho que eu confesso que não foi como eu esperava, né? A gente ia fazer uma transmissão diferente, com um cenário diferente, onde você ia poder ver eu e o Arthur ao mesmo tempo, mais o vídeo, mas acho que no final acabou que o resultado foi bom, foi tão bom quanto eu imaginava. Eu espero que vocês tenham gostado e a gente se vê na quinta-feira, às 9h41, no horário normal. Um abraço, pessoal.
Falou, galera.
Just a minute, now you got me thinking about love. Don't understand it, but nobody does. The time for asking is over. The time for living is now. This is a limited offer. Let me show you how. The time for asking is over. The time for living is now. This is a limited offer. Let me show you how. Now, wait just a minute. Now you got me thinking about love. Don't understand it, but nobody does. And now wait just a minute, now you got me thinking about love. Don't understand it, but nobody does. Oh no, don't understand it, but nobody does. Won't try to hide it, 'cause nobody. One, two, three, come on. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Nathan Artono. Hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful rest of 2021. Happy Chinese New Year if it's relevant to you, and thank you so much.
We're coming back. March.
Well, thank you, Nathan Hatono. That was amazing. Thank you. So now we believe that feedback is a gift, and we value yours. So please fill in the feedback at the experience today. And before I let you go, I think just now you hear from Nathan that Chinese New Year or Lunar New Year is around the corner. So for those of you who celebrate, we want to wish you health and prosperity in the Year of the Ox, and 恭喜发财. And thank you everybody for joining us live from Singapore. See you next time. Thank you. So now we have come to